need this room. So this is our room for Anime USA. We have one of the suites here, and we probably maybe throw a party or something. So yeah, happy to be here. So yeah, enjoy the footage. And this is our review of Anime USA 2017. I mean, there's not really much to it other than that. So. What the? Double tap. Without making it out of my
I would like to thank Real Interface Studios for providing me a hotel room as well as allowing me to co-host their panel, which allowed me to get a presenter badge. Big thanks to those guys, and check them out. I'll leave a link to them in the description below. Anime USA is a 3-day convention held usually towards the end of the year at the Washington Marriott Wardman Park in Washington, D.C. This was my 3rd year going.
So here we are, Friday morning of Anime USA. Should be a good weekend. So yeah.
My 2017 experience at Anime USA was a pretty positive one, despite a couple of drawbacks I felt with the convention this year. To start, the hotel it takes place in is a nice looking place. It also has like nice areas outside. It pretty much has everything you need in terms of like parking and food and photo shoot areas. The bathrooms are clean, which is always nice for a convention. And honestly, it's easy to navigate. Like when me and my friends would split up at the convention, it was pretty easy to like get around and find each other. So yeah, the hotel staff was pretty friendly too. They took good care of me when my car broke down at the hotel, which is unfortunate, but they did everything they could to make sure all was well, which was awesome. So I actually have no problems with the venue, just to get that out of the way. The venue is really awesome, so not really much else to say there. However, the convention itself is where my opinion gets a little bit more on the neutral side. So let's get the positives out first. Anime USA has an awesome atmosphere. It's got like that small con feeling where it's like not like family ran, but like you can sense the passion that's there. It feels more like a convention ran by fans rather than a convention ran for profit. It's like not really a small con, it's kind of like, a small to medium-sized convention. So it has those qualities of a smaller con, but it is a bit bigger than a really small con. So it kind of holds a nice middle ground there. Despite the size of it, the guests you find at Anime USA are pretty awesome too. They had quite a few pretty awesome guests, especially an awesome shout out to Lisa Wilkerson, Shenmue family for life. I got to see Lisa there. Awesome. I actually had her sign my Tekken 5, my friend's copy of Shenmue 2, and my pal copy of Shenmue 2, which is pretty awesome. The line management at Anime USA seems to be pretty okay from what I've heard. I didn't wait on too many lines, as I was there for kind of like more social reasons and more networking reasons. So take my opinion here with a grain of salt. However, from what I heard from like other people, the line management was pretty good. The parties and like social events at Anime USA for the convention were actually primarily ran by fans from what I could tell. I didn't see too many after parties, if any, actually, supported by the convention itself. Except for like the major ones, like the Maid Cafe and Host Club and like the Rave and stuff. Although the Maid Cafe and the Host Club technically aren't after parties, but it is a extracurricular event you can go to, which is pretty cool. From what I heard from the Rave, it was kind of not that good, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. So from what I gather, the nightlife also, aside from just like parties and stuff, pretty much is all fan planned. If you're looking for nightlife, I would suggest going to the Facebook groups to check around and see what's going on, rather than using the con's official schedule or guidebook or anything like that. I got invited to a couple of different after parties, which is pretty awesome. Thanks to everybody who asked me to come hang out. Sadly, I actually got sick during Anime USA, so that like Saturday night, I was just sleeping. I got like texts in the morning. People were like, "James, where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm so sorry. I had a horrible headache, so I went to bed." At Anime USA, you'll also find an arcade, a dealer's room, an artist alley, just like any other convention. And for the size of the con, they're pretty well fleshed out. They are smaller than ones you would find at huge cons like Otakon, obviously. But they serve their purpose well. I actually like them at this size because it kind of gives a little bit more of a personal touch to each thing that you buy. Because at Otakon, for instance, I feel like I have to buy it and get out of there because there's a line. Whereas at Anime USA, it was more yo, you buy something, you talk to the artist for a while, and get to know them. I bought a print while I was at Anime USA for my new apartment. It was nice to sit there and talk to the artist about what inspired you to draw this and how long did it take and things like that. So that's always a plus in my book. So let's get down to the negatives. At Anime USA, because I was hosting a panel alongside the group that I was with.
Alright everybody, welcome to the Memes 101 panel. My name is James Reiner, aka Shia LaBeouf, aka Will Wheaton, whatever you want to call me.
Let me tell you about how the con staff treated me during the process of giving me a presenter badge. So I go to the main info desk for Anime USA and I explain to them that I was told I'd get a badge for hosting a panel. They said, okay, go to ConOps and you can do it there. Awesome. So I go to ConOps, I tell them my story, and they tell me to go to a different room called the programming. So I go to programming and explain them my story. So they tell me that I have to go to the main info desk, which is where I just were, to do all this. And at programming, they give me a see my panel sticker to put on the badge. So I go back to the info desk, and then they tell me that I have to go down to registration to get my badge. I go to registration, and I tell the guy who is telling everyone where to go my story, and he puts me on the main registration line. So I'm just standing there what's going on? Why is this so hard just to go get a presenter badge? I never have this problem at other conventions. So I hear the lady at the registration desk splitting up people between registration and pre-registration. So I just ask out loud, what about presenters? So she just allows me to skip the whole line to get my badge, which turned out to be a comp badge. So I finally have a damn badge, right? After that whole process. Now, mind you, this was an hour and a half worth of time of me waiting and waiting and waiting to get information. So one of my friends, who is also a presenter, was a bit late, so I decided to meet him at ConOps, right? So when I go back to ConOps, I tell them, hey, I'm waiting for my friend. So they ask me my name again and how I got a badge, and I tell them the whole story, despite them being the exact same people I just spoke to an hour earlier. And out of the two ladies I'm speaking to, the one on the left says, I'm sorry for the hassle, and she was, super awesome, very understanding. And the lady on the right just has, an attitude with me, saying I shouldn't have gotten a free badge for hosting one panel, and she was just, giving me this look, and I'm just what is going on with this? It's just so frustrating. So at this point, I'm just, really pissed, and I'm just, trying to hold in, my rage and just, act professionally, right? Because, it's just ridiculous that, I got thrown everywhere, and people are telling me different things, and one lady's really nice, the other lady's really mean about it. But in the end, I got to keep my badge. But I just hope that this story shows that it seems like there's some weird inconsistency with maybe staff or volunteer training or something. Also, that one lady was a real dick, and I wish I remembered her name so I could report it. But in the end, I got to keep my badge. I was happy, and I'm not going to let that ruin my weekend.
Why would it be in a freaking grab bag?
Yeah, no, maybe it's a stash.
This is the waifu kidnapping device.
It's the waifu kidnapping.
See what this fucking thing is.
Waifu napping device. You just
Whoa, what you
toss
doing?
it
What you doing?
and you can catch.
Anime USA!
Should do it!
Another negative I have with this year is that I feel like Anime USA thrives from its homegrown feeling, right? Things like cosplay kickball, outdoor photo shoots, playing soccer, cosplay tag, and many more outdoor activities, I feel, give this convention a real personality. However, this year, it was held during winter when it was really freezing, which eliminated any real chance of the usual outdoor activities, which I feel add to the homegrown feeling of Anime USA. Which, in my opinion, made this convention feel really more generic this year, and sometimes kind of boring, to be honest. Hopefully next year it's in the fall again, so that it could be it could have the outdoor activities and such. Last year and the year before, if I remember correctly, Anime USA was held during like October or September or whatever. I think it was October, and it was like a much cooler feeling. You know, in all, like, despite the issues I had, I personally feel like I have like a soft spot for this convention. Despite its downfalls, like, I always have a good time here, and I look forward to the coming years at Anime USA. You know, it's like a smaller con filled with people I've grown to know over the years. So there's always like someone to hang out with, as well as new people to meet. Like, it's just nice to walk in and just see people and like know who people are, and you know, just walk up and be like, hey, like, it's gonna be great, I'm so happy to see you, you know? So my final thoughts of this. Anime USA for me is a convention that I look forward to going to each year. Despite the fact that I have a soft spot for it, to be realistic, I could really only recommend it to people if they don't live far from it, and only if it's during the fall season, as the outdoor activities add a worthy dimension to the experience. Anyway, as always, if you like convention reviews, why not subscribe? If you like this video, like it. And if you didn't like it, you could dislike it. I don't really care, as long as this video helps someone decide if they want to go to this con, or if you enjoyed watching it. That means the most to me. Thanks for watching.